Now, we often hear when you empower a woman, you empower the community. WEConnect International is a non-governmental organization that empowers women-owned businesses around the world. Now, for more on what the organization is doing for African women, I'm joined today by Elizabeth Vasquez, President, CEO, and co-founder of WEConnect International. Elizabeth, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you, Esther. I'm thrilled to be here on Africa 54.
Yes, so now I know you're all for change. Women change our world, right? So what criteria do you use to identify businesses in Africa that are owned and run by women in order to support them?
So we were created by many of the world's largest corporations. They are looking for women-owned businesses that are at least 51% owned, managed and controlled by one or more women. They want to know that if they spend money with a business, that women will benefit and control that money.
So let's talk about South Africa, where you have an office. What kind of support are you giving women there? What kind of business are you supporting in South Africa?
So in South Africa, it's very dynamic. All sectors of women-owned businesses and businesses of all sizes, not just startups, but there's some very large women-owned businesses that are providing our corporate members with security services, IT services, HR services, training, but also manufacturing. So it's really diverse, and our members are really excited about the potential to grow with these women-owned businesses.
So what about Nigeria? It's another large economy in Africa. What are you doing in Nigeria?
Same thing in Nigeria. We are certifying and educating the women-owned businesses, but also engaging corporations. Like in South Africa, we have Access Bank, but in Nigeria, working we're with Absa Bank and in Nigeria. So between the two banks and companies such as ExxonMobil, Walmart, and others, Ernst & Young, they're all connecting with these women-owned businesses. In Nigeria, it's just as diverse as South Africa. The women are in every sector, they're of every size, and they're really dynamic.
Now, I understand, that you actually want to open an office in Kenya. Why Kenya? What are you looking for?
So we've really been listening. The time we've spent, I just came back from a conference in Rwanda focused on women and businesses organized by the World Bank and the African Development Bank. And it became really obvious that the government of Kenya is deeply dedicated to leveraging its own purchasing power, what the government spends on products and services, and making sure women have access. And they want to engage the private sector for public-private partnerships to see what we can do to help as many women as possible reach their full potential and access new markets.
As you hear, we're Africa 54, so Africa is watching. And most of the women are wondering, how can we reach WEConnect International? And what kind of support are you talking about? Is it a loan? Is it a grant? What is the support here?
It's interesting because most of the time when we talk about women business owners, they assume it's access to finance. And while access to finance is extremely important, and we work with a lot of banks and other partners that provide those services, women entrepreneurs want to sell their stuff. They want to sell their products and services. And so we are working with the market, with some of the largest buyers in the world, wanting to buy specifically from women-owned businesses. And to do that, we can self-register them for free. So they can go to WeConnectInternational.org, self-register, it's free, it takes 10 minutes. And if they want to become certified, we can actually look at their documents to prove that this is a woman-owned business. And then we provide a lot of education and training, online, in-person, conferences, business networking, and meeting actual buyers.
Now, knowing what you know from Africa and the experience that you have in Nigeria and South Africa, and you're looking forward to going to East Africa as well, what kind of businesses should women pursue to succeed?
That's a really good question also, because you want to make sure that the women-owned businesses understand where the most profit potential is. We tend to go into low cost to entry but low profit potential markets. We really need to start thinking about where's the money. Let's follow the money. And these corporations are providing their experience and their markets to say, this is what we source, this is what we need from competitive businesses. They're not going to buy from the women just because they're women, but they're looking at growth-oriented businesses that can offer things in information communications technology, energy and alternative energy in particular, in the healthcare sector. Of course, business services are always going to be needed. So whether it's legal or HR or PR, marketing, they all buy all of those products and services.
Well, Elizabeth, the training is key for these African women. Most of them would be looking for training as well to enhance their skills, but it doesn't look like we have much more time. But thank you so much for coming on Africa 54.
Thank you, Esther. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Sure. Elizabeth Vasquez is President, CEO, and Co-Founder of WEConnect International.